What if everything we thought we knew about the Roloff family wasn't the whole truth? Recently, a single post from Jacob Roloff, the youngest son of Matt and Amy Roloff, sent shockwaves through the Little People, Big World community. On the surface, it looked like just another reflective Instagram update, but for fans paying close attention, something about it felt different. Hidden between the lines were cryptic words, subtle clues, and what some are calling the biggest family secret ever hinted at in Roloff history. Could Jacob have just confirmed the existence of a secret brother? The moment that post went live, fans exploded with theories. Screenshots spread across Reddit, Instagram, and LPBW fan forums. Some claimed Jacob had finally exposed what the family had been hiding for years, a truth buried under layers of silence, distance, and old resentment. Others argued it was nothing more than a metaphor, but deep down, everyone knew Jacob doesn't post things like this without meaning. For years, he's been the family's quiet rebel, walking away from the reality TV spotlight, exposing behind-the-scenes truths and calling out what he sees as exploitation. But this time, it feels personal. The tone, the timing, the cryptic caption all point towards something much deeper. Something about betrayal, loyalty, and a brotherhood fractured. Fans are asking, did Jacob just blow open a secret the Roloff family has tried to keep hidden? And if so, why now? In today's video, we're unpacking everything. The post, the hidden meaning behind Jacob's words, the clues buried in past interviews, and the ripple effect this revelation could have on the Roloff legacy. From whispers of family tension to the emotional scars left behind, we'll piece together how this mysterious secret brother theory came to life, and what it might reveal about the true state of the Roloff family. Stay tuned, because once we dig into the details, you might never look at Little People, Big World the same way again. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For Roloff family latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. It all began with a single Instagram post, one that looked ordinary at first glance, but quickly sent shockwaves through the Little People, Big World community. On a quiet evening, Jacob Roloff, the youngest of Matt and Amy Roloff's children, shared a photo that fans now believe may have changed everything. The post featured a simple, moody snapshot of Jacob standing near the edge of Roloff Farms, the setting sun casting a long golden glow behind him. But it wasn't the picture that caught people's attention, it was the caption. He wrote, "Blood doesn't always make family, sometimes the truth takes years to surface." No emojis, no hashtags, just that one cryptic message. Within minutes, fans flooded the comment section. Some initially assumed it was a philosophical musing. Jacob has long been known for his deep, reflective posts about life, family, and independence. But others immediately sensed something deeper. The phrase, "the truth takes years to surface," sparked curiosity, and some followers began speculating that Jacob was hinting at a buried family secret. Then came the kicker. In a comment reply to a fan who asked if the post had anything to do with his siblings, Jacob simply responded with a winking emoji and the words, "Let's just say not all stories were told on TV." That one comment was all it took to send fans into overdrive. Within hours, Reddit threads, Facebook groups, and LPBW fan pages exploded with theories. Some thought Jacob was referring to long-standing family feuds, perhaps his complicated relationship with his father, Matt, or the distance between him and his siblings Zach and Jeremy. But others pointed to something far more intriguing, the idea that Jacob might be subtly confirming the existence of a secret brother. It didn't seem entirely impossible. The Roloff family has been on television for nearly 2 decades, and though much of their lives have played out publicly, there have always been whispers of what wasn't shown. Fans remembered Jacob once saying in an old interview that not everything made it on camera, and that the show often edited out parts of their real lives for the sake of storytelling. When fans started piecing together old quotes, captions, and interviews, a curious pattern began to emerge. In 2022, Jacob posted an old family photo where one child's face was obscured by a hand, and though many dismissed it as a coincidence, the comment section back then had also buzzed with speculation. "Who's the kid in the middle?" one follower asked. Jacob never replied. Another clue surfaced from an old podcast appearance where Jacob spoke candidly about lost connections and people who were part of the story but never seen. At the time, listeners assumed he was referring to extended relatives or family friends. But now, with this new Instagram post, those same lines sounded a lot more deliberate. The timing of the post also seemed intentional. It dropped just a day before Amy Roloff's birthday, a time when family members usually shared warm tributes and old photos. But Jacob's mysterious post made no mention of celebration or family unity. Instead, it felt distant, almost like a statement. Within 24 hours, LPBW fan pages began connecting dots. A popular fan account even compiled side-by-side screenshots of Jacob's post, earlier comments, and an old Reddit thread from years ago where someone claiming to be close to the Roloff family mentioned a child who wasn't part of the show for legal reasons. Could that story have been true all along? By day 2, hashtags like Roloff Secret and Jacob Knows were trending among the LPBW fandom. YouTubers and entertainment blogs started picking up the story, dissecting every word Jacob had written. Some fans argued that Jacob was simply expressing his philosophical nature. After all, he's known for pushing back against TLC and the public's fascination with his family's private life. But others couldn't shake the feeling that this time was different. His tone, the timing, the cryptic responses, everything seemed intentional, almost like he wanted fans to notice. Adding to the mystery, Jacob went silent for several days after the post. No follow-up, no clarification. He didn't delete the caption, but he also didn't engage with the growing speculation. It was as if he dropped a bombshell and quietly walked away, leaving everyone to sort through the fallout. Meanwhile, fans began scouring the Instagram pages of other Roloff family members. Amy, Matt, and even Tori Roloff shared their usual updates, cooking videos, farm promotions, and sweet family moments, but not one of them acknowledged Jacob's cryptic post. The silence from the rest of the family only made things more suspicious. Some fans theorized that Jacob had accidentally or intentionally exposed a family truth that was never meant to come out. Others speculated that his post was tied to a deeper rift between him and the rest of the Roloff clan. As theories swirled, one detail stood out. In a follow-up story posted briefly to his Instagram before it vanished 24 hours later, Jacob shared a single line of text over a plain black background. Some things weren't mine to keep quiet about forever. That was it, no explanation, no context, just that. At that moment, the LPBW community exploded again. Many fans took it as a direct hint, perhaps even confirmation, that Jacob was revealing something hidden, possibly about family lineage or someone connected to the Roloffs who had been kept out of the public eye. Even entertainment insiders began to speculate. Could Jacob have discovered something through old family records or conversations? Or was this an emotional reaction to long-standing family tension? One thing became clear: this wasn't just another cryptic social media post. It felt like a public confession, or at least the beginning of one. From that moment, what had started as a single Instagram caption spiraled into one of the most talked about mysteries in Little People, Big World history. Fans were determined to find answers, and Jacob's silence only deepened the intrigue. The question wasn't just what he was hinting at anymore. It was who he was talking about and why now. To understand why Jacob Roloff's recent Instagram revelation has shaken fans to the core, you have to look back at his long, complicated history with Little People, Big World, and more importantly, with fame itself. Jacob was just a child when the cameras first began rolling on the Roloff family's life. What started as a wholesome TLC reality show about overcoming physical challenges and running a family farm quickly grew into a television phenomenon. But behind the laughter, pumpkin patches, and family milestones, Jacob saw something far darker, a version of his family life that he often claimed didn't reflect the truth. In interviews and social media posts over the years, Jacob has been remarkably candid about his discomfort with fame. He once admitted that growing up under the constant gaze of cameras left him feeling exploited, even saying he did not enjoy being filmed and didn't agree with the way the show was run. He was the only Roloff sibling who openly distanced himself from TLC, going as far as to walk away from filming entirely while still in his teens. That decision, while shocking to some fans at the time, marked the beginning of a pattern that's become clear only in hindsight: Jacob's tendency to expose truths that others preferred to bury. He's been the family's most outspoken member, unafraid to challenge the carefully curated image that Little People, Big World projected to millions of viewers. Years after his exit, Jacob spoke openly about how reality TV had manipulated storylines for drama, often pitting family members against each other in ways that didn't reflect real life. He described feeling betrayed by fame, saying it had fractured genuine family relationships and created distance where there should have been love. And yet, despite his departure from television, Jacob never truly disappeared. Instead, he found his voice online, on Twitter, on Instagram, and through blog posts that offered raw glimpses into the Roloff family's private world. Over time, he became something of a truth-teller among fans. Whenever tension arose on the show or rumors surfaced online, Jacob's cryptic but thoughtful posts often seemed to hint at a deeper story behind the public narrative. That's what makes his recent post about a secret brother so compelling and so believable. Fans remember how, in the past, Jacob has used social media to quietly reveal hard truths about life on the farm, the nature of fame, and even about personal trauma he endured. His words have carried weight precisely because he's not chasing publicity. In fact, he's rejected it time and again. Jacob's years away from the limelight have given him perspective. Living a simpler, quieter life with his wife, Isabel, and their son, Mateo, Jacob has repeatedly said he values truth, privacy, and authenticity over anything else. But those same values have also driven him to confront the past, to shine light on the things he once kept silent about. In many ways, Jacob's separation from the TLC world wasn't just physical, it was philosophical. He chose to walk away from a machine built on image and narrative control. And now, years later, he seems determined to reclaim his own story, and perhaps, to expose the ones the network and even his own family have kept hidden. His upbringing on the farm, combined with his time away from it, seems to have shaped a uniquely unfiltered view of what really goes on behind the scenes. He's watched the family's fame grow, the relationships strain, and the public only ever see the edited version of the Roloffs' lives. So when Jacob posts something cryptic, fans pay attention, because they know it's not coming from a place of drama or attention-seeking, but from a deep well of experience and disillusionment. This new revelation, his allusion to a possible secret brother, fits a pattern that's both familiar and unsettling. Once again, Jacob is the one pulling back the curtain. Once again, he's suggesting that what fans thought they knew about the Roloff family might only be half the truth. And given his history of honesty and his painful past with the pressures of fame, it's no surprise that so many fans believe him. After all, Jacob Roloff has never been one to fabricate drama. When he speaks, it's usually because there's something real and often uncomfortable that needs to be said. In this light, the Instagram revelation isn't just gossip. It's another chapter in a long-running pattern of a son trying to tell the truth about the family legacy he once ran from. It's about reckoning with the shadows of his childhood, and maybe exposing one of the biggest secrets the Roloffs have ever kept. As fans began dissecting Jacob's cryptic Instagram post, speculation exploded across social media. Within hours, Reddit threads and Facebook groups were flooded with one burning question: who exactly is this secret brother? Some fans believe this isn't just metaphorical or symbolic language. They think Jacob was being literal, hinting at an actual, previously unknown sibling connected to the Roloff family. And when you trace the family's history and public timeline, it's not as far-fetched as it may sound. One popular theory suggests the mysterious brother could be a child from Matt Roloff's past, perhaps before his marriage to Amy. Fans recall that Matt has shared very little about his early life and relationships before Little People, Big World began filming. Some even point to moments from older interviews where Matt appeared hesitant when asked about his pre-TLC life, hinting there may be more to the story than fans ever knew. Others, however, have turned their attention to Amy Roloff's side. They theorize that the secret brother could be tied to Amy's family, maybe an estranged relative or a half-sibling she's kept private for personal reasons. In this scenario, Jacob may have recently discovered the truth through a family conversation or old documents, prompting the emotional post that sent fans into a frenzy. Then there's the theory that has gained serious traction in fan communities, that the secret brother isn't biological at all but emotional or symbolic. Over the years, Jacob has been known to speak in deep, poetic, and often philosophical tones online. Some fans believe his brother reference could describe someone who feels like a brother, maybe a family friend, a former crew member from the TLC set, or even someone from the Roloff farm staff who played a significant role in Jacob's childhood. Still, others have noticed timeline inconsistencies in the Roloff family's early years. Sharp-eyed fans have rewatched older episodes, noting that there are several gaps in what the show presented versus what was happening in real life. For example, some episodes skipped long stretches of time, while family photos from certain years show unfamiliar faces, young men or boys who appeared close to the Roloffs but were never formally introduced on camera. Could one of them be the person Jacob referred to? Adding fuel to the fire are the deleted scenes and lost footage from early LPBW seasons. Back in the show's early years, producers often filmed personal conversations that never made it to air, especially those involving deeper family conflicts or sensitive topics. It's entirely possible that something significant was captured but quietly buried, especially if it threatened the wholesome family image TLC wanted to maintain. There's also the possibility that the secret brother revelation ties into Jacob's own disillusionment with Little People, Big World. Remember, Jacob left the show years ago, calling it fake and manipulative. If he learned something about his family that was deliberately hidden for the sake of the show's narrative, his anger and his cryptic Instagram post would make perfect sense. But perhaps the most heartbreaking theory is that this brother could be someone the family lost, a child who passed away or was never publicly acknowledged. Fans have speculated that Jacob's tone, which carried a sense of mourning and betrayal, may hint at loss or secrecy rather than celebration. This interpretation has led to emotional fan posts wondering if Jacob recently uncovered a deeply painful family truth that even his siblings didn't know. Emotionally, the implications of any of these theories are staggering. If Jacob truly uncovered a long-buried secret, it could drive an even deeper wedge between him and the rest of the Roloff family, especially with Matt, who has always been protective of the family's public image. For years, Jacob has stood apart from the rest of his family, living off the grid, avoiding the spotlight, and calling out what he sees as hypocrisy in reality TV. This new situation, whatever it is, seems to confirm that Jacob's distance wasn't just about fame, it may have been about truth, and the emotional weight of knowing something the world wasn't meant to hear. If the secret brother really exists, it could completely rewrite what fans thought they knew about the Roloff family. A revelation like this would not only challenge decades of public storytelling, but could also reopen old wounds and expose hidden fractures that have been quietly growing since Little People, Big World began. Whether it's a hidden child, an emotional bond, or a symbolic message about loss and brotherhood, one thing is clear: Jacob's post has shaken the foundation of the Roloff family image. And as more fans dig through clues, rewatch old episodes, and analyze every word Jacob writes, the question remains: is this the beginning of a long overdue truth, or just another chapter of Roloff mystery? In the end, Jacob Roloff's stunning revelation, whether meant as a confession, a warning, or a cry for truth, has left the Roloff legacy at a crossroads. For years, the Roloff name has stood for perseverance, family, and the power to overcome. But now, Jacob's so-called betrayal may symbolize something much deeper, a generational reckoning. Maybe, just maybe, he isn't trying to destroy what his family built, but to finally heal it. Through his words and actions, Jacob has done what many members of his family have never dared to do: confront the shadows that fame cast on their lives. He's peeling back the curtain on decades of silence, tension, and unspoken pain, forcing everyone, including fans, to see that the Roloffs are not just characters in a TV story. They are real people, carrying scars that no camera ever captured. This moment, as raw and uncomfortable as it may be, exposes the fragility behind the Roloff image. It's a reminder that even the most picture-perfect families can harbor secrets that weigh heavily on the heart. Jacob's truth-telling may feel like betrayal to some, but to others, it's the first honest step toward breaking a cycle of suppression and fear that has long haunted the family. And perhaps in this new chapter, the Roloffs have a chance to redefine what legacy truly means. Not in acres of farmland or reruns on TLC, but in courage, accountability, and the ability to face hard truths with open hearts. If transparency becomes their new foundation, then maybe the Roloff name will not be remembered for the scandals or the fractures, but for the healing that followed. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time. Imagine scrolling through Instagram and stumbling upon a post that changes everything you thought you knew about the Roloff family. One cryptic caption, one carefully chosen photo, and within minutes, the Little People, Big World community was in chaos. Fans are convinced that Jacob Roloff, the youngest son of Matt and Amy, has just confirmed a secret the family's been hiding for years: the existence of a secret brother. For nearly 2 decades, the Roloffs have lived under the constant gaze of TLC cameras. Every fight, every wedding, every heartbreak, all of it played out for millions to see. So how could something this big stay hidden for so long? Jacob's post wasn't just emotional. It was cryptic, raw, and almost defiant, a message that felt less like a random update and more like a warning. And now fans are asking the question that's sending shockwaves through the LPBW fandom. What betrayal could be so deep, so personal, that it would push Jacob to finally break his silence? In today's deep dive, we'll break down the post that started the firestorm, the clues fans believe point to a hidden Roloff brother, and the truth behind why Jacob's words may have shattered the family's fragile peace. Buckle up, because this isn't just another Roloff headline. This is the story of truth, betrayal, and the one secret that could rewrite Little People, Big World forever.